Dear fellow recruiters, welcome to the channel once again, and in this video we have about the topic candidate calling. Now what is that about candidate calling? When we try to call people, they do not answer our calls. Sometimes we send a lot of emails but still we do not get any reply, right? That is the primary pain point in this industry, no matter what sort of requirement that you may have. Maybe it's an urgent requirement, direct client requirement, anything might be. But what is the problem? People do not answer the phone, right? That is what we are going to discuss today, and I'm going to share 6 to 7 topics from my experience and what is the research that I have done so far, that you could able to understand what is that you should do so that you could increase the probability of the getting responses from the candidate. All right. Now first, let's see how would that been. कैसे होता अगर जिसको भी हम कॉल करते थे, they answer the phone and we end up getting what? Replies, and we end up getting all those information so that we can get a submission. Now here that is not the case, right? Now what is this all about? Now here there is a research done by MRI Network Research. What did they found? They did the research with recruiters, and they have found that recruiters who call 40 to 75 calls per day, 40 to 75 calls per day, those recruiters said that they are getting 63% not matching, and 42% candidates do not answer to their calls. Now here, not finding suitable people for the job could be so many reasons. Now here we could definitely focus on how we are understanding a requirement, looking at different sources where people might be. So that's a secondary story. Since today's topic is more about candidate no response, so here the survey says 42% people do not even respond to you. Now why this happens? कैसे क्यों होता है? Now if you understand, in early days when there was a phone, like big phone, right, desk phone sort of thing, there where we punch the numbers or maybe like we dial the numbers, at that point of time there are very less availability of reach to one individual to another individual. Now if someone calls, we may think that that could be urgent call and we never wanted to miss it. Now this was there around 10 years back, when there was not such availability of mobile phones to every people. 10-15 years back, now everybody was depending upon their pagers or maybe on their land phones primarily. Now for there, when we leave a voice message, there's a light used to pop up, and the person comes to the phone and checks who left the voice message. Now at this point of time, what happens? At this point of time, everyone has their phones on their hand, in the pocket, mobile phones, and they have the authority and they have the right to think at that point of time whether they should answer or not. In that probability, what is that we should do so that we could increase the rate of response rate? So let's understand. Okay, now let's look at your targeted candidates. Who are primary people that we generally target? Now if we look at the individuals, generally there are 3 types of people. Okay, people in the sense we can say let's audience, or we can say prospect, or whoever it is. One is cold, warm and hot. Okay, who is that? Cold, warm and hot. Now hot is the individual, you might have worked with them previously, they know you, or those are the people who are actively looking for a job. Whether you send email or not, they proactively reach out to you by looking at your ads. Those are hot, and we do not have to use any strategies because that's kind of hungry and we have a food, they just buy and go. Now there is a warm leads. Warm leads are those people who might have heard with you, you might have interacted with them or sent an email previously, they recognize your company's name but they never worked with you. So for them, if you approach them, the possibility of recognition would be high. When it comes to cold, cold is a majority part of the people who are there who might never heard of you, or neither you got a chance to work with them. Now this is very much difficult to connect with those people. Why? Everybody might be targeting them. Now again, those people are different varieties of people there. So let's look at what is the kind of people. So here at this moment, we generally deal with millennials and Generation Z. Who are millennials? Millennials born around 81 to 90 age group, and here 91 to 2010, 2013. So those kind of young people, okay. Now here, these people have mobile phones with them, and they are very less dependent on contacts. I mean, they don't like to spend much time over the phone, and we need to understand the psychology of our candidates so that we can reach them well. And they have the presence. Majority of the candidates have their presence on social media. It could be LinkedIn, it could be Instagram, it could be Facebook, Twitter, all the way they have their presence. And now for those people, if you see, if they have to receive one good call, for them, there might be 20 spam calls they need to filter, right? Now check your mobile. How many times you are getting calls from this Airtel, these from bank people, credit card department, loan department, so many companies they call you, right? Now how will you know if the new number comes to you and that is like an interview call, an opportunity call? What is that you're going to do? If you are ignoring all the new numbers, thinking that could be a spam or someone trying to sell you something, the same way the candidates are also thinking the same manner. So their probability of getting a one good contact, meaning like a valid call, they might have to filter through 20 different calls. That's what the current scenario is. Now here, the solution, what is the solution is all about now? Now here if you see, the solution for this thing could be, in this situation, the best thing you should do is to write the candidate a text message with the information about a call and request for contact. Okay. Now, if you have been calling the person and they are not answering, you would like to send a message that saying, this is not a spam message if you are ignoring. So please call back. This is regarding a job opportunity and I have reviewed your resume. That could be the text message you might to send it across. Why? Because first is email, second is Insta or the social media, third comes in text, right? That's how the order we see. But nowadays, text message if you send, there is a high possibility the candidate is going to look at it. Look at your mobile, right? If there's a WhatsApp message someone sends, there is a high possibility that we may not check thinking it's a spam message, but it's a text message. At least we'll see what is the content, what is there been sent. So send text message, and at the same time, like a 5 to 10 minutes before or 15 minutes before, send an email that you tried them over the phone, nothing worked. That's the reason you are sending the email, to get their attention so that you could share what is the benefits that your requirement has to offer, and do follow that with a text message. Okay, for text message, if you are using a Text Now or a Vonage app, that works. And if your company using some other texting application, that's well and good. You may need to research and talk to your company for whatever the application could be helpful for you to text as well. Okay, now here for those people, millennials, Generation Z or younger people, they rely more on texting rather than more on the call or video call or something like that. So you need to recharge, you need to change the way you have been approaching people. Okay, and now what is there? Another issue could be, so another could be, your number might have marked as a spam by the tools they might have installed in the mobile phone. So now in India, what is that we are going to use? Truecaller, right? Through the Truecaller, we know which has a spam or which is business related or what is that. And how do they do it? Now, if the number has called to multiple people and they have reported it, now by default, the application shows that phone number as a spam number. Now, what if What if you called so many people in the past and they might have reported you according to your designation, or might be a spam, or might be marketing, or might be advertising, or might be your company's name, that these people are just waste time or it's a spam? Possibilities are there that whatever the time you are calling those people, everything is going to spam and you are wasting your time. Now what is that you are going to do? What is the solution for this? Now there is a one solution that I could suggest you is, if you are calling so many people and no one is answering it, now probably we may think that it could be a spam. You should pick somebody else whom you know and whom you have not connected, or those people who doesn't have your number. मीनिंग आपका नंबर वो बंदे ने सेव नहीं किया है और आपने कभी कॉल नहीं किया हो, ऐसा कुछ जान पहचानत का कोई अगर है यूएस में, तो do one thing, you try to call them from your number and ask them how exactly your number is been popping up and what is it showing. Now if it comes through a spam ID, if it says a spam or it's like a marketing or sales or something like that, then I would suggest you to change your phone number. You might need to tell your company to change your phone number so that you gotta start something from the beginning. That is the only way how you do it, because your old number is already been went to the spam list. Alright, that could be the reason why people are not picking up your phone. Now they might not be ready for jobs. That could be the reason. It means, according to a survey which was done by the Stack Overflow, 62% of the people, they are open for new opportunities without actively looking for them. You know that? 62 people who want to change, but they are not active. And 24.8% are not interested in new job opportunities. So it means those people, around 25%, those people who are already happy with where they are. Got it? So they are happy with the benefits they are getting, they are happy with the timings, they are happy with the culture. So probably you are trying to hit those people who are already satisfied, and that might be the reason they are not answering your call. And those people, 62% who are currently working, but they are okay for new opportunity, for them the same spamming thing might be happening. So what is that you should be doing? So here you might need to consider an email, okay, drafting an email, then you start calling those people. Okay, now if you are in a job, what is that you primarily consider, right? You definitely don't want to get into a call with a recruiter all the time. So just like you should consider email the candidate before actually calling him, so here you should send a message or email if they have not attended your call. So the same thing, probably what is that going to happen? They are happy with the current job, they may say no, or they may connect with you. So for that, send an email that you tried reaching them, but somehow it is not been answered. It is not a spam call. This is regarding a job opportunity, and this is what your number, mention that and send it across and see if they are replying. And when you are pitching through your text or through your email, focus on the benefits and give a brief of who you are. Okay, what is that? It means it is not like I'm a CMM level 5, I'm an ISO certified, I'm this, I'm that, not that. But what is that you do probably, and how your email, how your text, or how spending time with you is going to help them. That is what you need to focus on. So it could be, hey, I'm a recruiter and I'm specialized in placing Java candidates with our clients within 10 days. Or whatever it is, your specialty is why the person should work with you. That should be the way how you should be focusing on drafting a message. It should be short and sweet, and people who look at it should feel as if, yes, there could be a benefit if I connect with them. वो वाला feeling आना चाहिए when you are connecting with the individuals. Okay, so here people might not be ready. Another one is the market, right? The current market is candidate driven. You know that. That's the reason there are a lot of jobs but less candidates. Now here the same thing, the candidate knows it. Now that sort of candidates are quite hard to find and let them do what we want. Now in that, those candidates who knows that they are exactly what so many candidates are looking for, and so many companies, so many recruiters are looking for, those people rarely pick up the phones, and they mostly are not even actively applying for jobs because many recruiters like you have been chasing them, right? It's like a hot cake kind of people, but they know what they are, their values, and they know that other companies are looking for them. They might not answer your phones. So what is the solution for this? Now at this point of time, if you know that you are working on a niche position and you think that all the recruiters might be connecting to this individual, so here the majority of the thing is going to bring you success is if you build a really strong rapport, and before you build that, you need to write more attractive email which could grab their attention. The same thing, right? Why they should work with you. It means if the candidate reads your message, then what is the benefit the person is going to get? That is exactly what you need to mention in the draft. Okay, so it could be the company's benefit or anything that could be. Now here, once you send the message, focus on sending a text, at the same time connecting through some social media as well. Now here 73% recruiters say social media is helpful all the time. Definitely, right? Those people who are busy with their schedules and they know that they are the one who is going to rule, and at that point of time definitely you need to pitch little bit more so that they may come forward you, but it could be challenging, and definitely that's one thing you want to leverage that. Okay, social media connection if the phone is not working. Another reason why people are not answering your call, because they feel it is some surprise call which they really don't like. Okay, so there are times when people don't even pick calls of the person they know. How many times that you do that, right? People call you and you just put that in a silent mode. The same thing might be happening with recruiter calls. Now moreover, currently what happened is the current and previous generation are more inclined towards not responding to much calls. So it is like we are more inclined towards sending text messages, okay, or emojis or that sort of, rather than really picking up the phone and answering. Now these people want to run the world. If you know that these people want to rule the world, and you definitely want to let them do what they want. So the other reason for the rejection of calls by the candidate may be because they don't like cold calls. All of a sudden, because there is a lot of these spam calls, credit card, home loan, and charity, real estate, so many calls are there. That's the reason they really don't like it. Or all of a sudden you call it and it also goes on the same thing. Okay, so that is the reason they really don't want to answer the calls. But if this is something a recruiter call, if they know it, definitely they want to have some time to prepare before they answer. Let's say all of a sudden you are on the road and someone calls you for an interview. Would you take that interview or you ask for the time? Definitely you ask for the time, isn't it? The same thing happens. For those people might have uploaded the resume, they might be looking for a job, but they don't want to answer your call. It means they really want to prepare well, or they don't want to be caught on the middle or on the corner. So that's the reason suggested you to send an email. Then make sure that you are going to call them at whatever the time you say. Okay, so it is exactly right. Let them know what they may expect in the call. You send a message, you can say that this is what it is regarding, and you are going to call for this reason, and see if it works. This is the one way that you do not seem like some new one. Okay, and what could be the other reason? The candidate do not want to answer the call. All right, they are not in a position to answer, or they do not want to answer it. Why? Because if you see the current work style, everything is in remote, right? Now earlier when there was no remote, we know it could be 9 to 5 or 10 to 6 work, and we know that if someone has to work at 9 o'clock, the person needs to get ready by 8 o'clock or 8:30, then start for the job, then afternoon 1:30 lunch, then after 5 o'clock office is done, and they'll be driving, and by 6:37 they are home. This is what the timing. Now what happened? Now when everything is remote, there is a high possibility that people are doing things by their own. Might be they're working late night, maybe they're sleeping early morning, maybe they're doing some other work. Now here we really missing the exact time of the candidate work schedule. So might be we are calling them when they are sleeping, or we are calling them when they are working, and we have no idea that what is the current life they are currently having, because everything just messed up with their current work style. So the other thing, assuming that people are going to wake up at 9 o'clock and they'll be ready by 10 o'clock for job, we do not know. What if the person has worked till early morning 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock? Possibility is there, right? That's what I'm talking about. This could be the reason they just put that in the do not disturb mode, DND, and they sleep, right? Now what is that we are going to do? So for that, if you call so much of people and they are not calling you back, and you're leaving a voice message, still they are not calling you back, so definitely we need to have a zero expectation on that sort of thing. But at the same time, do not lose your hope. Leave a proper voice message, and they don't have to run to the desk phone to listen what is the voice message. They can have the phone in the handy, and definitely they can open and listen, because they consciously, deliberately, they wanted to avoid your call. So leave a sweet and soft voice message with below 30 seconds with the benefits and why you call them, reason why you call them, not explaining your name, your company, and you are a recruiter or some job, why they should call you back. That benefit thing should be there in your particular voice message. And definitely focus them on sending emails and send text as well. That is the thing currently working, and hopefully that should work with you as well. So people are not in a situation, or they do not want to. That could be the reason they are not picking up the phone. And the candidate doesn't answer the call even though you have already spoken to each other. You know that? That sometimes happens, right? We talk to the candidate, we submit them, still they do not answer the phone. Why? Can you guess? Why generally people... Now, if you have spoken to someone with less than 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and you've done your submission, after 5 days you are calling, that's a secondary story. If you have spent enough time with the candidate and you are trying to call next time and they're not answering, so possibility are, when you have when you are talking to the candidate, they might be busy, they might be in a hurry, might be distracted with some things. That's the reason they could not able to save your phone number. Now, you as a recruiter, are you insisting, are you urging the candidate to save your phone number in their phone book? Are you suggesting the candidate to save your phone number in the contact list, so that next time you call, they may not feel that it is a surprise call or spam call? If you are not doing it, you should do it. So might be the person has not saved your number, and again the same thing is happening. Now at that point of time, what you should be doing, you should focus on sending a text message. Okay, text message cannot be spammed. So, or possibility that they are going to look at your text message and send email as well, that previously I have spoken, you might not have saved my phone number, this is Suman from so and so company, and I have something important for you, call me back. Alright, now then you can take it to the next level of the conversation. Alright, now another final thing is very important that you should know, that they don't want to bother by a rejection. Means what? Nowadays, you see, people want to say no, or they want to say not interested. How? By not answering the phone. You see that? That is called, this is called ghosting. Everything was going well and all of a sudden the answer is no, and they want to tell you the answer no. It means they want to assume you the answer is no by not responding to you. Are you doing it? You might have faced other people might be doing it. This is what exactly happening at this point of time. They want us to assume that the answer is no. That's the reason I'm not answering or replying to a message. You see, right? A lot of time you send a message in LinkedIn, the conversation goes on, all of a sudden it stops. Either you stop it or that party stops, but the answer is no. people do not take responsibility to share or say no professionally, because that is the reason they ignore it. They want us to think that the answer is no. Here, they really don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to explain my reason for refusing. I don't want to apologize for not doing something, not coming to meeting, not sending your test assignment, not sending my resume, anything that could be. They really don't want to do it, and that's the reason they do not reply, they do not answer, and we assume that the candidate is not interested. And by the way, if this happens, what is that you are going to do? Once again, you know that this is a value. This is about respect. This is about valuing each other's time. Now, if this person is not committed in the beginning, then how do you think this person is going to be committed enough when you work with the person? So, it is very much important for you to understand the attitude of an individual, so that you are not going to risk your job by trusting somebody else who is not trustworthy and professional in the beginning. So if a candidate is painful in the beginning, the same candidate will be painful at the end as well. So you need to be focusing on a candidate who is very much professional, which is a smooth transition, which will come easily and which will go easily. Mark my word, if you have to work hard for a candidate to get onto the phone, get a submission, and again you have to work harder for the candidate to take the interview and join, and don't be surprised if the person doesn't join, because that's what it is. A candidate is painful in the beginning, that could be a lot of pain at the end as well. I'm sure you are going to have that experience if you have not had yet. Okay, I hope these tips were helpful for you and you understood why people do not answer the phone. So don't be frustrated. This is what the game that we are in and we are playing, but you are going to win it if you persevere and if you stay on your path and you change the way you approach people. Okay, and this is the only way how we will be successful. Thank you so much for being here. This is Suman Pachigulla, and I'm on a mission to impact 5 million lives through recruiters. And I wish you a very good luck and a bright future. Take care and God bless.